to tell you a little bit about my background to start. I'll keep it short. As was referred to earlier, I do come from a family of 7 children. My parents were both school teachers back in the Midwest. We weren't a poor family, but we came from humble circumstances, but I had a good upbringing. Education was paramount in our home, and all of the children went to college. In college, I became interested in journalism. I was actually, after I graduated, a newspaper reporter for 10 years before I went to law school. So I know a little bit about what your job is here today. My claim to fame, I think, was that I worked for the Omaha Sun newspapers, which was the first newspaper that Warren Buffett ever bought. Warren used to come to our Christmas parties, and I'd get to interview him on the phone about financial matters. Unfortunately, I didn't follow his investment advice, which explains why I'm here today. My wife talked me into going to law school. I was lucky enough to get into Stanford. I still remember driving down that Palm Drive the first day and saying, wow, I've died and gone to heaven here. And then I met my 170 classmates, and I came home to my wife that night and I said, honey, we're in deep trouble here. All 170 of these people are smarter than I am. I found out later that not all 170 worked as hard as I did. So I did graduate with honors from Stanford. I went to work for 2 of the best law firms in San Francisco. I started out at the McCutcheon Law Firm, then went on to Latham & Watkins, which is the largest law firm in California. I had a 23-year career as a trial lawyer. I won important cases for clients like Genentech and Adobe, National Semiconductor, had cases for Apple, so I had a broad experience there. One of the things that was most gratifying to me, though, was the 10 years I spent working with the Prison Law Office to reform the California Youth Authority, which some of you may know as the youth prison system here in California. The conditions there were truly horrendous. I won't go into great detail other than to give you a couple of examples of what we found in our investigation. We found, for example, that they were keeping kids in isolation for 23 hours a day for months at a time. The 1 hour that they were out of isolation, they were in dog kennels outside. My personal favorite that we found was a thing that they called blender meals. When a kid would misbehave, they would take sandwich, apple, milk, puree it in a blender, and if the kid wanted to eat that day, they had to suck that through a straw in their cell door. We eventually got a good settlement with the state, and there was a story in the Chronicle just 2 weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago today, that said that the work that we did has caused 85% of the problems to be remedied. I would say it was closer to 50%, but progress is being made. I wanted to say a little bit about my life in San Francisco. I've lived in San Francisco for 17 years. As was alluded to earlier, I lived in Inner Richmond on 7th and Anza for 13 years. It was a largely Asian neighborhood. My daughter went to school at Zion Lutheran Church at 9th and Anza, where I've been a member since 1986. In her class, she was the only non-Asian student at the time, which was interesting for us. I say these things because I want to make it clear that I do understand the concerns of the Chinese American community, and I've lived amongst you for a long, long time, and so I get it, is basically what I'm saying. Would like to talk a little bit about my endorsements. I've been endorsed by Fiona Ma, been endorsed by Eric Marr, who's the supervisor from the Richmond district. Been endorsed by Lawrence Wong, who's on the college board. Endorsed also by the public defender Jeff Adachi. And most important of all, though, is the support that I have received from my fellow judges. And I think that's important because judges are people who know what it takes to be a good judge. And as has been said here already today, all 8 Chinese American judges have endorsed me: Judge Lam, Judge Fang, Judge Wong, Judge Singh, Judge Tang, Judge Chan, who can't be here today, and Judge Cheng, who can't be here today. So I very much, excuse me?
Judge Lee.
Oh, and Judge Lee, who was here earlier today, but had to run because her computer broke down, I guess. So,
Also CACA endorsed you.
yes, the CACA has endorsed me, and I very much appreciate all the support that I've gotten from the Chinese American community, and we do plan on winning this race. I'd be happy to answer any questions that